Happy new week, everyone. Hope you're doing well and hope you've had a good week this far. I hope you're expectant of God doing great things this week. Welcome back to another episode of First Sharing with Bontle. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, guys. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends to please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video if you haven't, and please comment below what you think, what you want us to discuss, what kind of conversations you'd like us to have. Guys, come on, let's do this. Okay, I hope everybody's doing well. Let's get right into it. So today I'll be reading from Proverbs 21 verse 2. The verse is as follows. Every man's way is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs and examines the hearts of people and their motives. So what does this verse actually mean to you? You know, I read this verse, I think a lot back to my days where my Christian journey just started off, and how I was so obsessed with being obedient, but the ways in which I was so obsessed with being obedient didn't come from the right place. It didn't come out of my desire to want to get to know God for myself, or my desire to want to build a personal relationship with God, but it rather came from my desire to look as if, or to seem rather, that I was good enough to Christian people already, to seem like I was good enough to actually be approved into the circle of being within Christ and whatsoever. And God is really not concerned about those things. God is so concerned about our hearts and how they are postured, you know what I mean? So my heart, like, you know, guys, when I started my journey, I was so harsh on myself, right? I was so harsh on myself in terms of gossiping. Let's take for gossiping, for instance. This is not a habit that you would just one day wake up from and say, you know, today I'm not gossiping anymore. But that's how harsh I was when it came to my journey, that I wanted to live up to a certain expectations to what the Christian community didn't even putting those expectations on me, but because of what I thought, or what I thought was right, and what I thought needed to be the right way to follow, I lived up to that expectations where I needed to be this, I needed to not gossip, I shouldn't swear. I mean, I spent a lot of my life using a lot of vulgar words, listening to vulgar music. So how is it that in a month's time my vocabulary needs to get rid of all swearing words? So I was so more concerned about being accepted by the people around me, looking like this Christly person, that my heart's position was not positioned in a way that I'm building this relationship with God. I want God to get to know me, and I want to get to know God. And God already knows me, but I just obviously we want this relationship to seem like one way. I'm pursuing him and he's pursuing me, which is constantly God is always pursuing us. He knows us from the inside out. But I think what he wants is for us to be honest and say, this is what I'm going through, this is what I need, what needs to be changed. But for you to come to that your own realization, with him showing you that, you know what, I probably want you to focus on this, and I probably want you to change this about you. But with me, I was always so focused about how other people see me, and I was not so focused about how he sees me. And I think maybe when we make decisions in our lives, and those decisions necessarily has very little to do with God, and more to do with ourselves, and mainly feeding our flesh, that's when God cannot really intervene. A lot of my Christian journey, I was more concerned about how people perceived me, and that was not the right way to go for it, because only when I was so concerned about my relationship with God and getting to know God for myself, that's when God could actually speak to me. That's when I could hear God speaking and say, you know what, I want you to focus on this aspect of your life. I need you to focus on this area of your life. I need you to start doing healing in this area of your life. I need you to go and forgive your dad, because you actually haven't went and forgiven your dad, you know. And that's when he can really do the great works in us, when our hearts are positioned in the right way. So then the verse goes on and says that the Lord weighs and examines the hearts of people and their motives. So let's quickly go through a few definitions, right? What does the word weigh mean? So the word weigh means assess the nature or importance of, especially with a view to a decision or to an action. So you can already imagine how important is that thing to you. Like, hence the Lord looks at our ways. Are they right in our eyes? And our hearts notice, because how important is that to you? Is it as important to God as it is to you? Does this bring you more closer to the purpose or the will that he has for your life? You know what I mean? So most times, when I lived my life in the flesh, there were a lot of items, and I'm speaking about materialistic things now. There are a lot of things I wanted, but when I literally wanted those things, it was not necessarily because of I want them because I like them, but because so many people had them around me, that I felt that if I have this thing, now only am I able to fit in. So my heart's condition in getting that item in the first place was not even the right one. And most of the time we sit in the same lesson over and over because we haven't been willing to learn what God is trying to teach us, right? We haven't been willing to learn that God wants our hearts to be pure. He just wants us to be genuine. He wants us to be honest and truthful to ourselves. He doesn't expect anything more from us. He just wants us to really, really just be honest with ourselves as we can do for him, because already he knows what's in our hearts. Already he knows where our hearts are postured. But for us to be honest to ourselves and actually say, maybe I need to examine this motive. Maybe I need to look at why am I actually doing this thing? Where does it actually root from? Nah? And then I go on and also search the definition of examine. So it's to inspect someone or something thoroughly in order to determine the nature or the condition. And then motive, a reason for doing something. So in all things, God is always going to examine our hearts. He's going to look at our motives behind certain things. When wanting to be, like for instance, when you want to go into psychology, do you want to go into psychology because you want to help people, or do you want to go into the career because you just want to make money out of it? Because in all things, I believe that in all things we are called to be good stewards of, meaning that we need to be of service, whether be it a career, be it a friendship, be it relationships. We need to be able to be of service to the next person. And to be of service for me means literally humbling myself to the needs of those around me and my needs, right? So that each person's needs are met. But in me meeting the next person's needs, I don't put myself at the back line of everything, meaning I don't come last, that I do not come last for myself, but I'm willing to be of service to those around me. Let's take another example as tithing. God looks at how our hearts are postured when we're tithing, right? So if you're going to say, the reason I tithe is because I want to get something back out of it. I'm tithing because I want to be rich and successful. You will be disappointed. I'm not saying that you shouldn't tithe for things you want. I'm just saying that shouldn't be your priority, child. That should not be your priority, because you're gonna be real disappointed. You're gonna wake up tomorrow and you ain't rich. You ain't rich. So you need to tithe, because I understand that these resources do not come from me, but rather that these resources come from God. And because of how good he is, he's given me these resources, and because they are initially his, I'm giving it back to him, because he's going to ensure that this money he's given me stretches, that's everything it needs to do, and even more in ways I couldn't have expected. He's going to ensure that I'm not wasteful, because that's what good stewardship is. It means that not that your money is just going to grow. If you have 10 grand, you're still going to have 10 grand. It's just that you're going to be of better use to that 10 grand. You understand? You're going to make it work for you because he has guided you. So if you're going to type because you're thinking, you know what, I want this and I want this, guys, yes, you're coming into covenant with God, but God don't owe you anything besides your life and your breath. He don't owe you anything, guys. And I'm being like, for real. You're going to be disappointed. So you need to understand, where's my heart position? Why am I actually tithing? Like, I tithe because I know that it could have never been by me. It could have never been by my strength. The job I have is not because of me or how excellent I am, because I'm nothing. Without him, I'm not all of those things. It's only by his strength, it's only by his knowledge, by his wisdom that he has imparted in me that I can be all of these things. And that's why I tithe, because in the first place, I've never came up with that resource. He brought it to me. I've never had to work hard enough for that resource. As much, I'm not saying I don't have sleepless nights, guys. I do have sleepless nights, but I understand it's not by my strength, it's by his. So when I tithe because of all the good things that God has done for me and all the good things he continues to do for me, and because he is the provision for those resources. He is the one who has gifted me with those resources in the first place. So that's why I say that in all things, God looks at our motives. He looks at our hearts. How are our hearts postured? Why are we going about that certain thing? Why in situations as conflict, why do we respond the way we respond? Are we responding out of trauma, or are we responding from a mature stance? You know what I mean? So today I really pray, my daily prayer for us is that in all things we do, when we do something, be it choosing our careers, be it speaking with friends, be it being in different engagements, or different engagement opportunities that we've never seen ourselves being in, that we may ask God, search our hearts. God, reveal me to me. Show me what my intention is here, and ensure that I'm aligned with whatever you've called me to, you know. Allow my heart to be so pure, Lord, that it's not all about me, but rather it's about your glory. It's about what you are trying to do through me, and how you're trying to do it through me. I hope this video was lovely and it made sense, and that nobody got no hard feelings. Because guys, like, you know, it's so tricky. These methods are so tricky, and I'm not saying in all instances that we strive to be the most horriblest people, but I mean that most things that we do, even with the littlest things, like just buying clothing items, where's our heart postured? You know, tiny things, tiny small things. Yeah? Am I buying this dress out of envy because I saw Mang wearing this dress and I want to show that I have a better body and I'm more banging than Mang? That's why I'm buying this item. So small things, honestly. So let's look at the postures of our hearts. Let's look at our motives behind everything we do. So that's what I pray for us, that we would ask God to search our hearts and reveal us to us. Have a blissful week. Bye guys, and thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe below, hit the notification button, and like this video. Thank you and bye.